Are you truly a St. Louis Blues fan if you don't have this underlying hate for Chicago? Okay, I need to calm down a little bit, but this is what we're going to get into today on Locked On Blues.
You're Locked On Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome back to Locked On Blues. I am your host, Haley Taylor Simon, here a part of the Locked On Podcast Network. When I tell people I live at work, people don't believe me until I'm actually sleeping at my job. And then they're like, okay, we finally believe you. But hello, I am back at the station. Per usual, that is the theme of this week. Haley does not leave the office. That is okay, because I am going to talk about something that makes me feel happy, which is the St. Louis Blues. So what does preseason actually mean for teams that struggle during the regular season? And it's always sunny, and that is correct. It is always sunny now that Oscar Sundqvist is back with the St. Louis Blues, and it's been absolutely a dream come true to have him back in the Blue Note. And then training camp cuts. So obviously it's inevitable that the roster has to be cut down a little bit. You can only have so many guys on your roster, right? So there's no surprise in that one, but the Blues have made some decisions that I will get into at the end of this episode. So before I talk to you about what preseason means, about Sundqvist, and about the cuts, I just want to let you know that I hate the Chicago Blackhawks. They're my least favorite team in the NHL. Probably everybody in St. Louis's least favorite team. Nobody likes the Blackhawks. Tonight's game, did I accept the fact that the Blues might lose? Absolutely. But it doesn't matter because I want St. Louis to beat Chicago, and that's my mentality. So throughout the episode, if you just see me just being like, you know what, beat Chicago, it is because that's how much I hate the Blackhawks, and it just fires me up. And other NHL news, because sometimes I like to talk about some other things that go on around the league. Hayden Hodgkinson on the LA Kings hit into Vegas's captain Mark Stone, and he was like fuming. He was even talking to Brandon Clark about it on the Kings, who was only a rookie. He's only like 20 years old. And he was like, don't have anybody on your team do this again. Now, Hale, you cover the Blues. Why are you talking about the Las Vegas Golden Knights and the LA Kings? And I'm talking about leadership. And Braden Shen is one of those guys, I could never see him going up to a 20-year-old rookie and being that aggressive. And that is why I am so happy that he is our captain. It's one of those things where if you're a captain, you need to treat other players and other teams with respect. And it's an ego thing. And I like Mark Stone. It's not that I don't, but I think looking at Braden Shen, he is so humble and he is so, on top of things. So I am happy that he is our captain. Okay, let's get back to the Blues. I just wanted to mention that because when I was watching that video, the first thing that came into my head was, thank God the Blues have Braden Shen. That was like the first thing, and I will still stand by that. So, okay, preseason, what does it mean for a struggling team in the regular season like the St. Louis Blues? It allows them to regain that confidence again. I think a big problem with St. Louis was this lack of confidence due to the fact that they ended up not being a very good team. And how can you be confident when your team is not winning? And I think all in all, the Blues, they really showed some determination and they were able to get back in there and to get things done correctly. So I'm not saying that preseason is going to weed out the good and the bad teams. Preseason doesn't mean that. Preseason doesn't mean that your team is all of a sudden really good. It doesn't mean that your team is all of a sudden bad. It just means it is exhibition games to allow teams to practice without having to worry about points yet. And I think that's what makes preseason, I don't want to just say special, but I think that's what makes it important. You can't just put players on the ice for regular season without them having kind of like those scrimmages in a sense with other clubs. I think that it builds up confidence in the younger players that way when they make their debuts. It's not, this huge home opener where everyone's expecting you to do well. I mean, which they should still feel that pressure. I'm not saying that they shouldn't, but it allows these younger players an opportunity to get more comfortable, to get more familiar with the ice before they go into those big moments. Now, what does it mean for the team that I love, the team that I'm talking to you about, the St. Louis Blues? I have seen really positive things on ice for the Blues. I have seen great energy. I have seen great playmaking. The spacing has been a lot better than it was in the regular season last year. And I've seen good communication on ice. The guys are being very communicative. They're talking to each other, and that ends up resulting in good playmaking. What still is a concern of mine? The defense, the blue line. I didn't really like how they did on their PKs. I think that could use a lot of improvement. Benner still looks good behind the pipes. I mean, I'm going to always support Jordan Binghamton, but that's just who I am. I don't think I'm going to ever say a bad word about Benner because we protect our goalies. But I have seen tremendous improvement from the last game of the regular season against the Dallas Stars to now. And it sucks because I wish, selfishly, I wish this was the regular season right now because I'm like, okay, the Blues actually have a winning record. I know it's only 2-1, but a win is a win. It's above 500, but obviously there's 6 preseason games, so there's going to be a little bit more time between the regular season begins. But I think that this preseason sets the tone for the regular season. For teams that are already super good, it's just, stretching out, warming up, getting back out on the ice. But for a team that has struggled so much like the Blues did this past season, it's an opportunity, as I stated, for them to regain that confidence. And I think that's the difference. The Blues are taking these preseason games more seriously than other teams that I have observed around the NHL. I'm all for fights. I know that Isaac Ratcliffe, who was on a professional tryout, he's fought a little bit. I'm all for that, but please protect your players and make sure that you're not doing anything that could cause injury before the season. Hockey is a long season. If you're really good, you could play until June. Now, for the Blues, am I expecting June? No, I'm expecting when the season ends in April. But I'm just saying that you never know, but you need to be cautious. And I think that when I saw that Kings and Knights game, I don't know why I'm so fixated on what I saw with Mark Stone, but that is sloppy hockey to fight like that. I mean, that's how injuries happen. A clean hit, take the clean hit. But that's why I'm proud of the Blues, because the games that they've played in thus far, they have been cautious and they have been playing, I don't want to say too cautiously, but they're definitely not doing stupid things that could insinuate injury, which would be detrimental because this team does not need any more going against them. Seriously, they do not need anything else to go against them because they are already dealing with a lot. They have a lot to go on. But the thing with the St. Louis Blues and this preseason so far, I think for me personally, has been the fans. I know I'm here to talk about the hockey team, but you have been showing up at Enterprise Center and representing the note. You've been making St. Louis proud. And to all of the fans that have stuck by your St. Louis Blues, thank you, because I always defend the Blues. You've heard it here on Locked On Blues. I'm always defending the note because that's how important St. Louis is to me. And I think that it makes a statement. Hey, this fan base, we are passionate and we are ready for the season, and we are going to stick behind our team no matter what. Despite the outcome of last season, this is our team. This is our city. And these are our players. And yeah, there could be drama with Torrey Krug and then Kevin Hayes coming in. But you know what? I will still support them. And of course, our lovely mascot, Louie, which no one ever kind of talks about. But Louie's a good mascot. Okay, and also my voice, I lost it again. So I am on like my backup voice. So it's not the best. All right. But I do have enough voice left. Is that a thing? To tell you about my friends over at DoorDash. I love DoorDash. I'm actually just about to DoorDash now since I've been at work all day. I love the convenience of getting what I want right to my door. And with DoorDash delivery, you can stock up on the week with groceries. That is something that DoorDash offers, new fresh groceries. And if you don't have time for the store, that is fine because DoorDash will get you everything that you want and you might need right away. And I trust DoorDash because they have delivered for my favorite restaurants. It's always come on time. The food is sealed, and I can now trust them with my groceries. So I can trust them with my restaurant food and my grocery food, which is honestly such a lifesaver. So if you want to get 50% off your first DoorDash order and up to a $20 value when you use code LOCKED at checkout. Limited time offer, terms apply. That's 50% off, up to $20, no minimum subtotal, and 0 delivery fees with your first order when you download the DoorDash app and you enter code LOCKED. Don't forget, that's code LOCKED for 50% off your first order with DoorDash. So what I was talking about with training camp and these preseason games was one particular player, and that is my boy, Oscar Sundqvist. Oh my gosh, Oscar. I could go on and on and on about how much I love Sonny, how I'm extremely happy that he is back with the St. Louis Blues, but he happens to be somebody. Oh, Sonny, 29 years old, eh? That was my little hockey lingo. 29 years old, eh? But no, it is so nice seeing him back with the St. Louis Blues. So let me give you a little history of where Sonny has been around the NHL. So in the 2015 season, he was with the Pittsburgh Penguins up until 2016-2017. And then in 2017-18, he was with the St. Louis Blues and he was on that championship team. So he hosted the Cup with the Blues. Unfortunately, a little trade happened to where he was with the Red Wings halfway through the 2021-2022 season. And he stuck with them halfway through the 2022-2023 season. And he only played 15 games with the Wild in 2022-2023. And then he was an unrestricted free agent, and then he came back home to St. Louis. And I know he was with the Pittsburgh Penguins originally, but he won the bleeping cup with us. So yes, I do feel like there is that connection. I love him, and I will always defend Sonny, and he's been playing phenomenal. I did not expect this out of him. I understand, Haley, it's preseason. Oh my God, you're overreacting. I don't care if it's preseason. I don't care if I'm overreacting. This is Oscar Sundqvist. This is Sonny. He is back, and he has been a huge highlight to the St. Louis Blues in their training camp and in their preseason games so far, and I am not going to complain. I think when you have a player that you weren't expecting to make a big impact like he has been, it's definitely exciting and it gives you some new hope for the season, right? Because now I'm like, okay, if he's doing this during preseason, if he's working this hard during camp, then what is he going to bring during the regular season? And that is what's the most exciting part. I need to cough. I know all week I have been losing my voice, and I do apologize to anybody that's listening. I have been struggling. So I'm going to pause this and I'll be right back. I am back. I had to take a little break. As I said, I'm at the radio because I don't have a life and all I do is work. But anywho, Sonny is the guy, and I will always defend Sundqvist. So if anybody has anything to say that's negative about him, I will simply not hear it because he has been the shining factor for me this preseason. Connor Bedard is playing tonight, and I cannot stand the Blackhawks. I told you I was going to mention it a couple of times at least. But before I talk about the next segment, I want to let you know that you can follow me on Twitter at LockedOnBlues or my own Twitter at Haley T. Simon. And if you're on YouTube, hello, how are you? I look better than I sound, but make sure to hit that subscribe button and let's get to like 800 subscribers. We're so close. So that would be a lot of fun. So the Blues cut down their roster and it's now at 57. The St. Louis Blues president of hockey operations and general manager Doug Armstrong, aka Army, announced today that the team has assigned defenseman Michael Bushniger, Quentin Burns, and Matt Myish to their junior teams. This is expected with these young junior players. They get some practice at training camp, get some reps maybe at a preseason game or two, but this is very common, so I am not surprised. I tend to believe that it's all part of the journey, and maybe in a couple of years they'll be ready to make the final team. But hopefully this motivates them, gives them some spark when they go back to their junior teams to just, work on their game and know the feeling of being able to play in the National Hockey League. I am somebody that is so big on experience. And the more experience, the more reps you can get, and the more action, then the better of a player you're going to be. Cuts are inevitable. And I said after tonight's game in Chicago that the Blues were going to have to make some serious cuts because tonight is a true testimony to who realistically could be on this team. While you're going against a more talented Blackhawks team with Connor Bedard, I don't know if Taylor Hall is playing tonight, but you have some serious guys that are on the Blackhawks now. My goal for St. Louis, and this has always been the goal for my St. Louis Blues, is to make them younger, faster, and better. And I think that's any hockey team. That's any goal that people have. But I seriously think that for the Blues, especially, utilize these young players in preseason and allow them the opportunity to get out on the ice with the other guys, wear the blue note, feel the pride in being a St. Louis Blue, and then work on the things that you need to work on. I think that I could get repetitive, right? Where I can say, okay, I want this team to be younger, better, faster, stronger, but that is the reality. And there's not much to say until it is shown. So the St. Louis Blues, let's go see if they finally put out their roster because I wanted to tell you the roster. Okay. All right, projected lineups for tonight, which is basically just the lineups. So it's going to be a Robert Thomas line winged by Bush and Neighbors, which is kind of expected to see during the regular season, honestly. Then my boy Zach Dean will be winged by Zach Bolduc and then Nick Ritchie. It's the Zach Attacks. That was my little dad joke I wanted to share, and I didn't think it was going to be that funny. And then it is going to be Alexandrov's line, and it's going to be winged by McErchin and Walker. And then the fourth line is going to be Holschner's line, and that's going to be winged by McGing and Godet. That line is more of a testy line. That's definitely giving some guys opportunities. On defense, it's going to be the first pair, Peranich, and then Parako, and then Tyler Tucker, and Joseph Desac, and then Cal Rosen and Hunter Skinner. I like Cal Rosen, so that's good. In net tonight will be our boy Joel Hoffer, and then Will Cranley. I like both of them, but this game is going to be tough for your St. Louis Blues because of Connor Bedard. He's going to definitely draw the defense out of their comfort zones, which is expected. I mean, Paraka can only do so much, but this is a good test. And this is what I mentioned earlier in the episode of Locked On Blues, that this allows, oh my gosh, I'm going to cough again. I'm not going to do that because I want to get through the show without having to pause every 5 seconds. This allows the Blues to really work on that defense and to step up. Chemistry is important, so I do like these line pairings quite a bit. I think that you know what? I wouldn't tweak a thing. This is preseason. This is, again, giving guys opportunities, seeing what works well, seeing who has chemistry with who. So I'm not one to mess up stuff during preseason. I think that some of these lines definitely look a little regular season ready. Obviously, that line with Robert Thomas does. But I think that these are some good opportunities for the younger guys. And I'm a huge Zach Dean fan, as you know, so I'm happy to see him playing tonight. And I am excited about this game. And this is going to lead to more cuts. Obviously not in tonight isn't Isaac Ratcliffe. That's on a professional tryout. So maybe they saw what they needed to see out of him and they're going to make their decision. They're definitely giving some other guys opportunity because you cannot play the same guys over and over and over again in preseason. But I'm glad Hoffer will be in net. That will be nice to see and evaluate how he's going to do against a really good offense. And by good offense, I literally just mean Connor Bedard and a Taylor Hall if he's in tonight. Other than that, the Blackhawks do not concern me. It's just the fact that they have the best player from this draft. That's probably one of the best first overall draft picks from a very long time. But I'm not going to let that get to me. Like, Connor McDavid, very good. But again, the Oilers are not a successful team. So you can be a really good draft pick and still have a team that doesn't get you those W's. Yeah, that's basically it here on Locked On Blues. I was going to go on to say score predictions, but again, it is preseason, so I don't care about the score. I don't know if the Blues are going to win, but I'm expecting to see better defense, a better power play, and a better penalty kill. I got angry. I don't know why I got angry. I need to not get angry when I'm talking about the Blues. I'm passionate. It's the passion. My everydayers, let me know what you think of preseason so far in the comments below. And I will talk to you tomorrow. And as always, can I get a let's go Blues?
You're Locked On Blues.
I always do that. This is the end.